Hi guys, welcome back to Occultists Anonymous, episode 8 of the Richmond miniseries. As always, Occultists Anonymous is sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you to our patrons who support us monetarily, give us a little bit of their hard-earned cash. I think I made a joke about that before, so I won't make a joke about it this time. We appreciate your support. If you are a supporter on Patreon, that's terrific. If you're a supporter on YouTube by subscribing and commenting, that's awesome. Give us a little thumbs up and likes and stuff like that. Awesome. If you're over here on Twitch and you're subscribing to Onyx Path, that's awesome too. Wherever you are, we appreciate your support. But a audible, verbal, that's the word I'm looking for. Shout out to our patrons, Firekeeper, Usuf Sama, Thomas, Terry, Songbirds Prelate, Noctall, The Proud, Cinna, Sebastian, Schmitty, Ryan, Roversgrad, Puppeteer, Perry, Not Michael, Noba, Mike, Moku, Michael, Melissa, Lance, Cat Feathers, Julian, Josh, John, Jenny, James, It's Michael, Giovanni, episode 35, He Did Nothing Wrong. Who is that, Doc? Emil, Danny, Brandon, Bernie, Badur, Algos, Alexander, Alan, Michael, and Al. Gotta be careful about talking about episode 35, because there might be people here who haven't seen it. Righto, thank you guys for your support. Right, I'm done.
Cool. We left off. Everyone had wound down after an eventful day of terrible spirit trickery and
so much paradox.
A lot of paradox and almost getting at by a werewolf and all kinds of good stuff. So
good times.
Yeah. And
it's fine.
And an angry ghost wife.
Yes.
We pick up the next morning, and what do you do?
I think unless you could get up early, I wouldn't be at Ash's shop until at least, or Amanita shop until probably at least 11.
Which, I mean, that sounds like normal Ash.
About when it opens, yeah. I've never seen a witch shop that opened at 8.
New. Even if you live above it.
Witching hours are from 10 to 10.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. 12 hours? Well, yeah, I guess. Most stores are open that long.
So, Vicar walks in looking like shit.
Yep.
Hasn't showered. Doesn't look like he slept.
If you didn't sleep, then you don't get that willpower.
Yeah, sleep.
Yeah. No, he's spending too much time rearranging furniture.
I forget. Does Vicar have a beard?
He's got a bit of a beard normally, but it's kind of this morning. It's a little broader than normal.
Sure.
Just unkempt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Still dressed like a preacher?
No, he wasn't really dressed like a preacher. He had a long leather coat on.
Okay.
So same clothes. It looks like he slept in them, actually. Well, didn't sleep in them, as the case may be.
Hey, you all right?
Yeah.
You lying?
Anyone else? Is there anyone else in the shop?
No, probably not at this point.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
I said, are you lying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't have a name for this person.
Random name generator.
Yep, let me help you with that.
Yeah, I like to have an idea of who they are before I name them, and I did not put any thought into, this character.
Well, they work one day a week at your witch shop, so.
Mm-hmm.
Or they come to visit.
Yeah.
Oh, those names are terrible.
Haley Dread, there you go. Haley Dread. How's that?
Yeah. The only thing I had about this person is that they're a guy who will come by on the weekends to do card readings for do divinations for people under the guise of giving you a tarot reading, but he's like actually doing divinations for them.
Acanthus shadow name .jpg.
So the one I often use for well, not Acanthus, because I never put Acanthus in my game. They just show up. But was Nutmeg Twisty Spice. The one that just stood out to me.
I feel like nutmeg's actually not a bad.
Nutmeg isn't a
It's
bad
not
one.
actually.
Yeah.
Sure, that works.
Nutmeg, yeah.
Just sprinkle a little bit on everything.
Pull out the great.
Yeah, he usually comes in around noon, hangs out all afternoon.
You got any coffee? Or
Sure.
something stronger?
I was just saying, a witch shop with a attached greenhouse. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we got you. Lots of teas, but if you want coffee, I have that too.
I need something stimulating.
What about something relaxing?
Yeah, no, relaxing and put him to sleep.
I mean,
we
I
have
have
all of
something
that.
that can do damn near anything. But yeah, we'll get you coffee. So yeah, I guess we'll hang out at, there's little card tables in the shop for sitting at.
All right.
And just dude comes in around noon. We've had coffee and you've maybe chilled.
I would have asked for, after about 10 minutes, I would have asked for some painkillers too. If you got something for pain.
Yes.
I mean, if nothing else, she's got life magic for pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want magic or do you want the plants? Because they work really well.
Plants would be just fine. Thank you.
Sure. Give you that too. It's probably
That
tea.
Sure. So that takes care of the headache. Okay.
So Nutmeg walks in. I'm picturing very witchy hipster dude. Bold print shirt, tight pants. What's up, Amanita? Hey, I'm
Hi.
here to. Oh, you got somebody in.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
This is Vicar. He's also with the Free Council.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen you around.
Yeah. Hey, Nutmeg.
What's up, man?
We picked up a couple phones. Hoping you
Cool.
could help us out with them.
Like a tech support?
No.
Some dead seers. We're trying to figure out who in this phone might be
Yeah, cool.
other
Cool.
seers.
I need. I'm looking for some connections so we can trace the rest of their organization.
Oh, see, that's all you had to say. I just thought, Gramps here wanted us some free tech support.
Troubleshoot his iPhone. Now we're
Yeah.
fine.
All right, cool. And just here, pass him over. What do you want to find out?
Other people in their organization. That's what I'm looking for. Something I can get a connection to.
All right. I assume you've probably, with little force magic, unlocked these.
Yeah.
No, Meg.
Hi, is he?
Very high. All right, cool.
Free
So
council
he's just,
Acanthus that works at a
sitting
witch
there
shop.
and,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he sits there and it's a fucking yantra, y'all. Get on his level. Don't get on his level. It's not safe. Yeah, so he's sitting there and scrolls through the phone for a little bit, and then wiggles his fingers at it for a second, and a pop of passive mage sight pings for y'all, and he points out there's a couple contacts in there that the phone says is important.
We got a couple names.
Yep.
We have phone names.
As I throw him under the bus.
One of them is in there as Morgan Stanley.
Of course.
Yep.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Seer number 2.
Random name generator, man. I live
Random
off
name
of it.
generator.
You think I would have taken the break to do this after I said
Nah.
I'm off my prep?
Anastasia Riddle. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Anastasia Riddle.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. For sure. And then he like walks past you to go and sit down and set up his stuff at a shop.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh shit, seer number 2 was a seer of the throne this whole time. Considering that
God.
the Rookery had Mammon
Weird
and
the seer.
Weird the
Yeah.
Seer.
The betrayal. Jesus. What's Drifter up to this morning?
Drifter got up at probably 8, did a little bit of a jog, came back, checked in with Virgil, gave him a quick little update of what was going on, and then has been staring at his phone. As soon as they get something, they're supposed to call me. And proceeds to spend 4 hours reshelving books. Just like, anytime now. Like, I don't want to be the guy that calls and they're in the middle of something.
Waiting by the phone on a Friday night.
Yeah, Saturday
Saturday
morning. Like, do you know how many good brunches I'm missing right now?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's a
They go
cell
until,
phone.
like,
You can take
2.
it with you.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, also, brunch doesn't end at noon. What kind of trash brunch are you going to?
Actually, that's Amanda's house rule, quite literally. Breakfast ends at 10:30. After that, no breakfast. You can ask her about it sometime. It's really funny. She's not super serious about it, but that's just one of her
Amanda?
Oh, yeah,
That's
true.
terrible.
That's true. That's true. I forgot. Yeah. she's
Garbage
gonna listen to
rule.
this. Yeah. So, yeah. Doesn't know the full name of Morgan Stanley. I'm sure it's just a shadow name. One would hope. Yeah.
Well, like in Vicar's mind, it's just placeholder A. It's just a launch pad to get the connection. That's
Yep.
all.
Okay, well, do you want to... Are you planning on calling them?
Well, we're supposed to talk to Drifter first.
Yeah.
I'd want to get his input on it, too.
Yeah, so call them. We got a couple.
Cool. Drifter casts teleport through the phone. Oh.
That's not
Oh, hey, man.
super safe, right?
What's up?
Because there could have been, like, people in here, but whatever.
What do you
What's
mean
up,
there
man?
could be people in here?
I like your
It's
outfit.
a
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Wait, you were doing like, oh right, free council.
What?
Also, like, there was no one in here, but you didn't know that. So,
Right. Well, you know.
Whoa, man. Y'all, it's cool.
Look over. Oh boy. All the silver ladder red flags are waving. It's like, this is not people. No, not our people. Drifter's like, okay, hang on. I'm having to reconvene. I thought, when I met you guys, I thought there was a little more serious. Okay, cool. I got it.
this is perfectly serious.
No, absolutely. I just wasn't expecting the super open to, free council. Some of you guys are really, really sleeper open and others are not. And yeah, I really should have put 2 and 2 together when you said you had a shop. That's my bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shop's got to have customers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, most of our customers aren't morning people, so it's new. We just opened.
Like so many stabs in Drifter's heart. Like you haven't been up for 4 hours doing stuff. Not that Drifter's really been doing much of anything this morning. Sorry. So connections, right?
We got 2.
From the phone.
Mhm.
Are you able to follow those connections? Because
I'm not.
well, yeah, looking at Vicar because he's the one with space magic.
I've got a couple of ideas. I think I can bundle a scry into a text message.
You are the expert when it comes to technology here. Voter.
Forces would let you do this, yeah?
Mm-hmm. But it's also going to trip their passive mage site.
Sure.
So,
but any magic we do is going to trip their passive mage.
Right. So once we pull the pin on that grenade, we kind of have to throw it.
Sure.
We good with that?
I mean,
let's do it from somewhere else.
Right. The other option is, following this connection to a connection to a connection that's, maybe not a mage.
All we have is a name right now. Well, we don't even have that really. We have a placeholder, a generic identifier. Morgan Stanley is one of them, for example.
A phone number.
But we can use that to establish a connection.
Mm-hmm. Doing this stuff with the phones, that's not my bag. So I'm following your lead.
All right.
Now, out of character, I'm more talking about and immediately the name of the spell disappears out of my head. Space one, correspondence. Because you can take the reach and you can learn, go from one to another. So you can follow the connection to something and then to something else.
Sure,
and
but I have to establish a connection. The phone is inert, right? So I have to establish a connection first.
But you are casting on that name. And like I said, this is be without forces, and also it's a conjunctional thing, so it's going to get Chris involved as a storyteller anyways. But this connection to whoever it belongs to, and then say that connection to his dog, or his house, or his job, or whatever.
I don't think.
I thought because they were dead, there were no connections in the phone.
That might be accurate.
From the person who owns the phone, but now you have the name in the phone.
The phone is not connected to the contacts in it.
Right.
But we
so I would need to.
So following the connections of the phone would just lead you back to the mage that had it.
So what I would have to do is either text them or call them. Then I have a connection, but so I don't think there's a way to come at this sideways.
Probably
without
not.
a lot more digging. I think we just go in guns blazing and hope for the best.
We can definitely go in guns blazing. I would prefer to nail down who these folks are, because let's be honest, last time we killed some folks and that didn't go very far.
Didn't go well for you.
Well, I don't get into fights usually that way. Drifter kind of looks over at Amanita. You can't talk to the dead, right?
Yeah.
A corpse?
Can I?
I don't know.
I don't have once you talk to their ghost.
Right, but if they're not around as a ghost, I don't think you. I was realizing, I was like, I don't think there's anything.
No, you could do the.
If you had a soul stone, the goetic evocation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot that was a soul stone thing.
Yep. So
I don't think I can just reanimate a corpse and chat with it.
Right. Yeah, because it's just a inert body.
You can chat with it, but it won't be there.
Right, it's not going to be useful.
You're just talking to a spooky skeleton for a while.
So,
if they left a ghost, we can check.
It's true. If nothing else, we can at least start there. The likelihood of them leaving a ghost is, I don't know, small, right? But, I mean, that's at least a place to start. And if nothing else, I can call up. Well, see, usually I work kind of the backwards way, and I start with the sleeper mundane reality and then find them that way, because I have a lot of contacts on that side. Robin might actually be able to turn stuff up, because that's kind of her thing, but and have them report back. The other option, which I'm sure neither of you are going to like, is we go tripping about in the astral and go spy on them from that side.
I'm down for that if we can find them.
Well, finding them in the Temenos is, I mean, that's kind of my thing, but that's going to, be a thing.
It's way outside my wheelhouse, but sure.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
And yeah, like from my perspective, you put me within vid window range of them, and I'm good to go.
Sure. Well, if nothing else, we start with some sleeper side investigation, and if that comes up with Bupkis, then we work off the phones. Also, since they are Orpheans, maybe we even go to the shadow side and see if
Ask her with more spirits.
Spirits, and I know they're probably not our best friends right now, but we go talk to some werewolves and say, or ask if we can borrow their super newts and have them sniff out something. Is that? I mean, that's a thing, right? I don't know. I'm literally first werewolf I've ever met that didn't want to kill me. So
yeah, they can smell better than us.
Right, but I mean in the metaphysical spirit side of things, because, I mean, there were some Orpheans, they're dead, but maybe they can track them backwards?
I feel like they can at least come from a better place of chatting with the local spirits to see which ones notice anyone else who's been traipsing about.
And that seems the kind of direct way.
Because they helped us find these two. Or they told us they were around.
And then we got jumped by them. But if nothing else, I mean, I'm sure they'd probably appreciate a chance to kill more sorcerers that aren't us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if nothing else, I guess we kind of need to check in on them.
Yeah, I'd like to see how things are going with the queen and make sure that we didn't, really screw up the city.
I mean, we didn't screw up the city. The Orpheans did. We tried to put things back as best we could. But
we are here to fix all that, though.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we... Hello, good doggo. Layla is on the stairs. Podcast, folks. Just watch her. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, we go and offer our services in repayment for what they had to do to handle the river spirit and try and increase some parity. I know Bless suggested that she would bake them a cake. And while I think food always works,
that may have been a metaphor, but
sure. But I mean, that's at least a start, and then that rebuilds bridges between the Concilium and the werewolves. But then the three of us can offer our services and repayment to the 4 werewolves that we had to deal with, and I kind of have an in with Javier.
What happened when my spell ran out? Their death rage will be gone, right? Because it's been long enough.
Yeah, because you had that for a day or something, right?
Yeah, I had the
control instincts or whatever. Yeah, because that would be very unfortunate. Drop the spell
out at dinner and then death rage.
They can take care of themselves once,
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Drifter, and after talking through, he's gonna make some calls to some sleeper cryptopoly folks, who are involved on the weird metaphysical side in Richmond, and then suggest we go. Well, I guess hunt down some werewolves. I don't know where they hang out.
Did we get their phone numbers?
I don't think we spend a lot of time talking.
I could summon some monster hunters.
That seems no. We don't want them to feel hunted.
I was just putting it out there. But yeah, well, if nothing else, we go.
I mean, Bless knows them.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we can start there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna shorten this all up
Sure.
through talking to people and looking in some places. You track down the werewolves, and of all places, right next to their queen, they're still concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I figured.
Are they like still in the shadow?
I imagine so.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Werewolves can just chill in the shadow.
Yeah, they're good. If they stay for like a long time, it throws their harmony out of whack.
Right.
But that's like, if you're at a balanced harmony, it's like a week. Yeah. So yeah, you all make your way back to
That
Browns
locus.
Island, and that locus, and you're there for not a very long time, and Jonas kind of steps through and is looking around, having made a pretty good idea.
Hey.
We wanted to come
Yes.
check on things and see if there's anything we can do to help.
No, we're good. Took all night and a lot of bribery, but we've got her calmed, though she's awake now, so...
That's a good thing?
Huh?
Her being awake is a good thing?
We'll see. She's, she's a river, right? She's flowy, constantly changing, unpredictably flooded with emotion sometimes,
Sure.
but should be fine. Don't think she's gonna flood the city or anything at the moment.
Good.
But,
We're also working on tracking down the rest of the mages involved with all of this.
Oh, you came to... You said you came to check in on us, but you need our help?
I mean,
We
depends.
want to do both.
And
We're mages. We don't usually act with a singular purpose all the time.
Javier steps through and just puts out his hand. And Jonas reaches in his back pocket, pulls out his wallet, and puts a $20 bill into Javier's hand. And then Javier just fades back without saying anything.
Drifter gives Javier one of the little head nods. So, but so
No,
I
and
mean-
personally, I wanted to make sure that this was dealt with.
Contained.
Yeah. And to help
Yeah.
if we need it done, but you guys seem to got it.
We got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be blunt. I can make you all better at whatever you want to do, and I offering those
But-
services.
We're good, man. We don't need your help.
Okay. And this is
We're already
not
pretty fucking good at what we do.
right, but everybody could be better. The point being, my services are at your disposal, unless you are saying that we're good. If you think we're even, then we're even, and I'm good with that.
I don't think we're even. I just don't think I want to be involved with you.
It sounds like we're even.
That we want to be involved with you.
Okay.
If you don't want anything from me, then that's it. We're even. Squeaky toy.
No, you're not listening. We're not even. You and those other mages have fucked things up. We've only got it under control. It's not fixed. Who knows what we're going to have to do? We had to literally sacrifice dozens of spirits to calm her down last night. So don't just nonchalantly go, we're even.
You're the one who's saying you don't want anything from me. I can't do anything beyond what you asked me.
Okay, well, yeah. I think it's time to just accept that they're not satisfied, but they don't want anything to do with us because they're afraid we're going to fuck it up worse.
You see, the thing is, the people who did this is what they do. They're going to keep doing it because there are others. We have very slight lead on who the others might be, but we cannot find them with what we have. We are telling you there are more. This will keep happening unless we deal with it. And that's what we're here to do.
Go ask Javier.
If you can point us in any direction, if anyone has seen anything or knows of anyone who's been messing with other spirits in the area.
All right. Meet me on the other side.
Okay. You're going to take us through? Or do you want me to?
I was going to say, you have a much easier time of it.
Does my paradox not... Does it reset?
Oh, yeah, because that's for the scene.
It's per scene.
Okay. Let me fill it up. It's a Spirit 3 spell. And I still have the Abyssal Imago.
That's exactly the kind of gateway into the shadow I want to walk through.
I mean, between Rampant and Abyssal Imago, like, I imagine you probably did a bunch of little piddly life spells when you were tending your plant.
Oh, yeah.
The previous night. So, Abyssal Imago can definitely be satisfied.
Okay. In that case, I still need to overreach by 1, but... because I need to give it a key, because I don't just want to leave it open.
Very good idea.
I mean, you also just have it open for long enough for you to get through.
We need to come back.
We need to come back.
Okay. 2 dice paradox.
Use the magical tools on my answers. Get rid of that. But I still... Wait.
Good.
Yeah, because
all good.
Chance die.
Mm-hmm.
So
cast
7,
that.
10,
8 dice.
2 successes.
Cool.
Okay.
So what does this look like? How does Amanita's spirit magic open up a locus?
It's just going to make like a little stone archway door that we can then pass through.
Cool.
But I guess you guys couldn't see it.
Drifter would.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like a nice little stone archway at the edge of the
and
like the river. Yeah.
Vicar would have space trigger that there is a door.
That's true.
That's no problem.
Wouldn't be like real clear on the specifics of it, but you'd be like, okay, there's something to walk through here.
Sure.
Drifter understands what doors are in a vastly metaphysical sense.
Metaphysical way.
Yep.
Okay.
So you step through, and the whole pack is here, and Jonas has kind of walked away from where y'all were, and is down closer to the river, with Amy, and they're conversing with the queen and kind of getting her to like play in the water and stuff like that, and keeping her in a like cheerful mood. Like entertaining a toddler, I think, is kind of the like energy of this right now. Like 10 minutes post tantrum where like you've got to find literally anything to keep them entertained. And Mariana steps up and said, all right, Jonas, you need to help find your other bad guys.
The ones who started all of this, yes.
Yeah. All right.
And kill them so they don't do this again.
Sure. Well, I mean, I guess we're going to go on patrol.
I mean, even if you know something is up, because you are clearly busy. And so I don't, like, nothing needs to happen now. And I don't know how large your organization is, but if you know
us and some normies. Us and some normies.
Sure.
If there's any chatter amongst the spirits of...
Look, I mean, I'm the one that does most of the patrols. There's a couple spots that come to mind. I'm going now. You can come with if you keep up.
Sure.
That's the end of this discussion.
Not a problem.
And she shifts down into wolf form and takes off running back up towards the downtown area where the big spirits of the big buildings are and stuff like that.
Cool.
Do we need Ground Eater to keep up with her?
Probably. I ain't that fast.
You find yourselves falling behind quickly.
Yep, so Ground Eater. Or do you want to do it? Mr. Knows is 5.
Drew casts a buttload of spells this episode. You cast something.
Yeah,
sure.
I was just going to do Honing the Form and make myself really fast.
Well, okay, so we can do our own things.
Honing the Form would be a roundabout way to get there. I don't think it would take a lot of potency to do something that a potency 2 or 3 Ground Eater can do.
Yeah, because speed is what? Strength?
Size
plus
plus strength plus dex, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so there's no way to just increase the speed.
Not with Honing the Form.
I mean...
Because that's flat.
Arguably, like Life 3 could like
you bring
modify
in, like, cheetah speed and
yeah.
That's what I was initially leaning for, like transform life to make myself just the speed of the werewolf. Yeah, use shapeshifting to make myself the werewolf, but that seems rude.
It's like, okay, listen, need you to calm down.
But yes, there are a number of ways to solve many problems. Welcome to Mage.
You.
But yeah, I'll just keep up the Life 3, I guess, transform life on myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if just to make things move along, if Vicar's throwing that with advanced scale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll throw it a potency 3 Ground Eater for advanced scale.
Potency 4. Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, plus 4, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
That'll do it. So you'll start catching back up with her, and she takes you through some of the like office buildings and sniffs around, and she's like, no, this is fine. And you can tell she's got some like, she kind of takes you on a big circuit of like the whole downtown area, and there's a couple spots where stops to investigate for a second and like talk to a spirit, and a couple little like possible trouble spots, but she doesn't like stop to let you all know what's going on.
That's fine.
And
For the ride.
she gets up towards there's a area where like just north of all the big spirits, there are there's like a change in the landscape a bit, everything becomes a little bit more open and manicured a little bit. And there are these like very like regal looking marble statue spirits that kind of line this open area. And there's all sorts of little spirits of like flitting about in various patterns and like pathways and stuff like that all over this big open park area. And you then realize, oh, this is the campus of VCU. So there's a bunch of spirits of like the dorms and the classroom buildings and the knowledge spirits and stuff like that hanging around. And she like stops and sniffs at something and then darts down through down a side street. And as you catch up with her, there is like, it takes you a minute to see it, but there's like a fold in one of the dorms. And as you kind of like sidestep a little bit, it's kind of like that kind of the visual gag of like of the labyrinth, where you realize that it's not just a solid wall there for a second.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And there is this sort of ominous black resonance kind of leaking out of this like fold in space.
Fold in space, you say?
Yeah, isn't that?
That looks like.
Isn't that cute?
Lowercase s, but yes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Roll int plus occult. And you can take basically just add spirit to it as well.
Int occult and spirit.
For once, actually adding the Arcana to a skill roll actually is intended. 1,
God.
4, and 2 for Vicar.
Oh shit! I just
Drifter,
forgot
Dash.
I had the name of what this is in my head, and I just lost it.
Talking about the little spirit mance thing.
No.
No.
There's like a bunch of like werewolf has a bunch of terms for like different places in the shadow.
I know they have like places that aren't or something like that. Yeah, that's what spirit mance was. Okay.
Easy enough for us to get in there.
Possibly. I'm going to rely on the werewolf expert before jumping.
Oh, sure. Right.
I mean, if nothing else, we just...
We'll call it a glade.
Interesting.
Essentially, there's pockets in the shadow where like resonances pool and shift the geography and like entwine on themselves and stuff like that. And this kind of manifests as almost like a gravity well of negative resonance.
As in it's drawing in negative resonance? Or like it's made of...
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
And yeah, so there you are.
Look over at with Marie. Mariana, sorry, Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Is this normally here?
Nope.
Yeah, okay.
You want to...
Drifter is casting in. Drifter is going to cast Inward Outward Eye to try and see through it. Is there a way to just clear all these that got selected? I'm just going to Gnosis plus space.
Mm-hmm.
3 successes. To view through. I'm going to pull it up, double check. It should allow me to see through...
An iris.
Yeah. Through distortion, iris, effects of scrying spell, blah, 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 blah. with additional arcana can, And so just little peek through.
Pump a little spirit in there, and it's this like winding, almost like a shell. It spirals in on itself.
Oh, like a nautilid shell or something like that.
Mhm.
Cool.
And so you kind of like are looking through the layers, and like I should be able to see through. Like, it doesn't matter how many layers there are, but like every step of that spiral, it just gets less. It gets more and more opaque. But you just see like at the very like center of it, you just see two like beady little yellow eyes that are just like flickering every which way at all
like
times.
darting around her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going in there until I have a chance to study this.
Yeah. Can I do a quick exorcist eye to see what's on the other side here? Like to see if there's anything related to this in the real world that I can. That is causing it.
Sure. It is a dorm building.
Okay. There's nothing unusual about it.
No, not
There's
that
like
it's
someone
readily
in the dorm.
apparent.
Yeah.
You guys want to go inside the dorm?
I mean, Drifter is planning to sit here and actually scrutinize this way in.
Okay.
So.
You kind of like settle in and start like looking like you're about to do a bunch of magic shit. And Mariana's like, all right, well, pretty sure this has got something to do with your bad guys. So
It's likely. Thank you.
deuces. And
Thank you. Appreciate your help.
She's gone.
If we can do anything more, let us know.
and she's gone.
Cool. Should I start throwing some Gnosis in space at this, or are we going to call it here?
Yeah, we can call it here.
Cool. So yes, that is where the Richmond Mage miniseries not exactly rides off into the sunset, more like delves down into the black hole. We're getting all Inception over here. So yes, we accidentally pushed Chris just a touch too far and was
Past the prep line.
past the prep line, which every storyteller is quite familiar with. Everybody goes there. You can't help it. That's just what players do to you. But with this being a one shot and this being the end, we're not going to torture Chris by making him come up with stuff on the fly that's literally going
I thought I did pretty good though.
Yeah, no, I would like now I'm like, well, damn, I need to know
What
what's
is that?
in here.
What is it? Yeah.
What the hell
Exactly.
is in here? And as a Occultists Anonymous special, we will leave it on a cliffhanger. So yes. So thank you guys for joining us. That is not the end of our night tonight. We have a little bit of time, about half an hour or so. So chat, we are watching for questions and stuff like that, but we're basically just gonna kind of chill and hang and talk about what's coming in episode 100, what they've spent XP on, because I checked with Chris and he was like, oh yeah, I've totally spent the XP. So Craig, have you spent your XP?
Most of them.
They haven't told me anything, which is fine.
I thought you were looking at our character sheets.
Oh no, I don't
I
ever
even
open those
updated my
things.
character sheet and re-uploaded it to Google Drive.
I did see that notification now that you mention it. So hey, that's one character sheet I don't have to update. But yeah, first off, thank you, Chris, for running this little golf clap. Yes, this is awesome. I got to play a character, which there are those of you out here who have said it, and it's like, you play a bunch of characters, you play a bunch of NPCs.
It's not the same.
Not the same. So it was a blast to get to do all these wacky shenanigans and inflict pain upon Chris the same way he does when he's like, I'm going to summon a supernal being with no prep. Which I don't think you've ever done that to me. I think that's just Craig and Ash.
Yeah, because I'm always stoked for it.
Right, that's true. That is kind of Songbird's
we've
position.
established, I also communicate like hey, this is what I want to do, like weeks in advance.
The fact that I often forget these things and I have to go back to Discord and be like, oh, right, what was that? But yes, this was a blast. It was fun. I hope you all at home have enjoyed this. This was your first introduction to Mage the Awakening. Woo! We jumped right into it.
Yeehaw.
Paradox.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, this is probably what most Mage games feel and sound like once people know stuff. It's actually kind of what I'm expecting episode 100 and on is going to be like, as the players all have a much better grasp of what is going on. And now that we've jumped forward 6 months in time, they've had time to adjust and settle into new stuff. I know when we jump back in, Songbird is going to be in a very, very interesting place to start things off. I don't know where exactly Weird and Atratus are going to be at. I almost called Vicar and Amanita. So that's going to be fun next week. I know it's going to happen. Maybe once I'm over there again and I'm in the right corner and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to be in the right corner.
Yeah.
To feel better.
Yeah. Not that I ever actually see that thing. That's minimized. I never see it. This was a blast. This was good. I do know 6 months have passed. Network is a much more fully fledged mage. We have a new Thyrsis, who we will introduce on episode 100. Judd is trained and far more in control of his powers and having a better idea of his limits.
And punching.
Yeah, and punching. Notably, I still don't have a character sheet made for him just because the resources aren't currently available, so we will have to wait a little bit longer than that. But that's fine.
Do we know for real what his powers are going to be, though, now?
I need to actually go dig in and pull the various powers out. I do know he has basically, I think it's called Lash, is the basic ability, which is literally using some form of energy from the deviant. It's their kind of go-to attack spell. The cool thing is it's super customizable, and I don't want to play with those customizations because they add additional power, but they also have negatives, and so I want to make sure I'm giving him the correct balanced stuff. Because obviously the more powerful stuff he's got, the negatives that come with it. So that's going to be one of the things. And I know
magnitude and scars and all that.
Right. The build out system for Deviant is super great, and I love it because it lets you have control of just how, like, in a game of like Mage, everybody wants to increase their Gnosis, everybody wants to increase their Arcana. In Deviant, you may actually, in like a full group, you may actually be the guy who's like, I just want a little bit of power and just this little bit of scar, and I'm going to be fairly normal. And then you're going to have this other person over here who has somebody that's sharing their brain space and occasionally takes over, but also has these wild telepathic, powers and stuff like that. And so you have that level of disparity. And as you level up, you can get new powers. They have to match to a new scar. So you don't get freebie level up. What you do get is acclamation, I think, which is kind of their version of.
Anyway, that's Deviant.
Yeah, that's Deviant. That's it. I'm excited. It should be soon that I get the book. So,
So Perry asked. This sounds like a question for you guys. So out of curiosity, how do you feel like it was different playing a character that's at this sort of level of being a bit more aggressive? Is there anything you'll take back to the main game from playing this? I think let's get Craig's perspective first.
This was
the Angel Killer.
Vicar is it was a very difficult character to play. Like, I'd have to unwind for probably an hour and a half after every game, just because the way my characters are, like, they exist in my head as separate people kind of thing. So he was a very forceful personality, and it took me a while to set him down after every game. He's nothing at all like me. He wasn't all about, he didn't really care about consequences.
Yep.
And that's not
which I liked
me at all.
which I liked that you gave me that, like, character, the ghost of your wife familiar, to, like, be able to, like,
Berate
Like
you.
say everything that every GM wants to say in every game, but like have it be in universe of like, dude, you should fucking stop.
Have you considered seeing a therapist?
And when we first started this whole thing, like you had a meme, or I think Ash linked a little video about somebody in their emotional support ghost. So that was kind of the idea. Like maybe we shouldn't drink 3 bottles of scotch tonight. You know, that kind of thing. Just somebody there trying to poke him out of the way, but he didn't have any control over her. That was an important factor, right? So,
Yeah, well, and that's what you get with like familiars, because like if you want them around, they have to be putting up with your crap. Because as soon as unless you have
as soon as it's not a two-way street,
right?
They can leave. Yeah.
And for some relationships, like with ghosts especially, like you can hold it over them. Spirits can probably just bebop off and be like, I'll find another source of resonance.
Ash, what do you think about Amanita and versus Atratus? And
I mean, I'm probably not bringing any sort of aggression back to Atratus. The way I have her built is actually moving very hard in the other direction.
The Peacekeeper. What was the
That'll
name
be fun.
The Peacemaker merit.
Peacemaker, that's
I took it at the 3-dot level so I can talk down supernatural rages.
Yep. Which is good for werewolves and vampires. And potentially, especially with Atratus being a Moros and death, the Geists have their little freak out. I cannot remember what it's called. But that might be even something that she's able to handle. Which would be very interesting. The others have a little freak out. I don't know. What's up, Chris?
I will say from a storyteller going back to being a player standpoint, seeing how little paradox matters. Like even though it was a lot of it being thrown around all at once, like I think something that we may shoot for is a little bit faster paced scenes. Or at least I will. And I mean, I'm not gonna do the weird thing and blow all my mana on holding back paradox.
Sure.
I already didn't though, so
right. But yeah, and that's the big thing. Like overreaching, it's scary, but like paradox is just something you deal with. Yeah, playing in Perry says not even much so much the aggression, but even playing a bit more all in ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely something to be said of it being like a temporary thing versus a main show character. Like that I think it's from both sides of the screen too, like DM and or storyteller and player. Like we don't want to kill Weird or Songbird or Atratus.
Yeah. Like I'm not willing to do so many hubris because I don't want to lose my wisdom.
Sure. Well, and for me, that's actually one of the big things. Like, I'm actually surprised I got away with not doing an active hubris. I kind of avoided it.
You like just skirted it like several times.
Yeah. That wasn't even intentional, but it was one of those things of like, acts of hubris are part of the game. And okay, you lose some wisdom. And if it really matters to you, you can bring it
Take
back
a break.
up. Yeah. Take that obsession, start to study your wisdom, and because that gets arcane beats, and active hubris get arcane beats, and especially if all three of you, because you all, well, some of you have taken wisdom hits. Have you all taken wisdom hits?
I've taken
now?
one.
Yeah.
Weird has not.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Weird, I don't think has had many acts of hubris at all, save for making the soulstone, I think. But no, I take that back because the magic in front of
She keeps messing with the
with the kids.
Christopher Wallace and Stephen
The
Klein.
kids.
Yeah, the kids.
Steven's
how old
legit
compared to-
19, so
Yeah, Stephen is pretty young. Christopher Wallace is like mid-20s.
this is 28 in Conca.
Okay, there you go.
Do we want to talk about XP spending?
Oh,
that
yeah.
we've done.
Do tell.
So Songbird is picking up. I finished the last session with a bunch of XP, and then we got
The
10.
bonus.
So I got a bunch to spend. I got a dot of presence.
Cool. Which that doesn't bring you up to 5, does it?
4.
Okay, 4.
I got a dot in forces, and a dot in matter. So I'm at 4 across the board. Forces, life, matter, prime. Quadruple adept. Definitely not going to do a bunch of janky shit. And then I got fluent high speech.
Ooh, which is going to be very important for your future plans.
Mm-hmm. And I think, we'll go into some of the like reasoning behind some of these more, but
yeah, especially once we get into the actual game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Songbird actively studying a thing. Get ready.
Yep.
fucking get ready. Just standing at the top of the stairs, ready to just
throw myself over it. Yeah.
Yep.
What about weirder Atratus?
I'm not done yet, but definitely Gnosis 6.
We're going to need to talk.
We're going to talk about that one.
you going up 2 levels of Gnosis is a big step.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll have to talk about that. This is one of the reasons why I said let's talk about your XP spending
over the last month.
Yeah,
that's what I'm shooting for anyway.
Sure.
And new obsession. Weird has always very carefully guarded her wisdom. So as part of increasing her gnosis, she's got a new obsession to increase her wisdom.
Sure.
Nice.
Which is a very weird thing.
Not necessarily a guardian thing, but definitely a weird thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, guardians are more concerned about the acts of hubris that involve the soul, like soul stones and stuff like that. Having that higher wisdom, actually, I love it because higher wisdom means that you have more acts of hubris to deal with, but you get to roll 5 dots instead of 3 or 1, and that's actually a really good arcane beat generator. As well as the occasional, whoops, I fell. Okay, now I got to work it back up, but that's fine because I'm going to get beats the whole way through.
Also, like, whoops, you fell, but you're still at 7.
Right.
Like,
And you get the condition.
Which is going to get you more beats.
So, yeah.
Right.
So we'll talk about it, but definitely a bump up in Gnosis.
Which will be good, yeah, because I think Chris was one. All right, so who what are we betting on? Who makes the jump to Gnosis 5? So
I was looking at it. I was like, do I go Gnosis 5, Prime 5? Or do I go 4 across the board?
Yep.
And it was just like, yep. I'll get there.
What about Atratus?
For me, I got Mind 4, Matter 4. I got 2 dots in Empathy and the 3 dot Peacemaker Merit. And that was my 15.
Nice.
Because I got 10 and I had 5 already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're setting yourself up for something. Cool. But yeah.
It's almost like I have plans.
Yes. There will definitely be some other merits and or dots that might get thrown around based on what you guys are doing in the 6 months.
Cool.
The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, like, for instance, I know, I'll go ahead and tell you that, like, Atratus is going to get another dot in Concilium status as she pushes for that ambassador role and stuff like that. So that's one I already know. Don't add it just yet. But yeah, we'll figure out, because I want to, whatever bonuses I give, I want to spread them out evenly based on, your wacky shenanigans. And
didn't you give us all one at the end of the last session?
Yeah, because you're going to get that one from basically the report back of all the vampire-y stuff that you guys had done.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Atratus may end up being a big mover and shaker in the Concilium by the time 6 months is over. Because I think that'll put her at 3 or 4.
Where did it go? It would be. I've only got 2 marked so far.
Okay, right. So it puts you in 3.
It should be the same as everyone else. So if y'all have 3, that means I didn't mark 1.
Right. Yeah, I think everybody else should be at 2 as well.
I had bought an extra one. Or got an extra one bonus.
Yeah, you bought one because...
That's right. Oh, because I was going for the Provost thing. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, so we will definitely see some more Concilium stuff. We are also, to probably nobody's surprise, going to be moving away from the other supernatural splats. We're going to be dealing with a lot more Mage to mage kind of stuff. There were obviously, I ain't getting rid of the Rescue 1. Phantasm Society has still got their story going on.
Those just aren't going to be the arcs.
Right.
I mean, the guys also have mostly moved on.
Right.
They've set up shop in the underworld now and only kind of come up occasionally.
The ghosts have moved on, yes.
Phrasing.
Hey, you said it. But yeah, 6 months we'll see where the Phantasm Society is sitting. That'll be interesting. Also got to figure out where Gabe is. So that'll be a thing that I'm not going to put Ash on the spot.
I mean, I'm liking the idea of keeping him as a familiar, but less as my brother and more as a ghost who is my friend.
Right. Which may have
I need
been...
to send you the little write-up I made.
She did do the write-up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah, we'll see more about that. I'm not seeing any more questions from chat. This is my subtle reminder for those of you who are still hanging out in chat. If you have any quick little questions you want to throw in, feel free. But otherwise, stuff you guys see for the future, obsessions and
I
things
need apprentices.
Mm-hmm.
I need more phoenixes.
We will definitely be talking about the new Phoenixes and the new unnamed Weird Legacy. The Untitled Weird Legacy, I think, is what the name of the legacy is. Which, by the way, Craig, that needs a title. Needs a name. But yes. I don't think... Well, no. Does Songbird have the 3-dot attainment for Fortune Master yet? Okay, yeah. So no.
It'll be
no
very
Songbird.
soon.
Yeah,
like pretty much my next XP. It was literally like if I had had one more, that would have been.
Oh yeah, you got the last one though, right? Because I was doing the. I thought you had just picked up another one.
It was the Perfecting Blood, because I think you had the same thought I had, which is perfecting a new nail. Oh wait, no.
Right now,
blood.
Yeah. I was perfecting blood so you could make blood runes in your forge.
How does Atratus kill the person? That is actually going to be a thing that we will start off.
I was like in general, or I was like, oh no, okay.
This kills the man.
This kills the man.
Yeah, it has come up, and I'm Ash has expressed interest in the whole I'm going to have somebody's skeleton walk out of their body.
I can't do that.
No, I don't think Atratus will ever actually.
We discussed it.
Amanita, however,
to do that.
Yeah, Amanita, however, definitely could have. Maybe could have.
It would have been a hell of a roll.
Yes. Yeah, there'd be some withstand.
How
does murder work?
I will say, if you have any specific questions about like storytelling or prepping for sessions when mages are going to ruin all your plans, or specific questions about the Richmond Concilium at large and stuff like that, I'm probably going to record a video going over, hey, this is what I prepped, this is what I did, these are the characters I created,
and this is what we did.
Never even met.
And then 5 minutes later, papers in the air.
And these are the left turns and right turns they made, which I think could be a really cool video to show off, kind of, because it's kind of a retrospective and where my head was at when writing a campaign, because you don't write the whole campaign, but you have some plot points, and there's things that I changed on the fly. There's things that I changed, after 2 or 3 drafts of hey, this maybe not work. Quick spoiler, my first draft of this sort of beats of the plot was that Bless was the bad guy, and had her forcing the river spirit to drown Richmond with 5 dots of influence of water. So
see, my bad guy sense was working. I don't like her.
So yeah, we'll reopen the question channel in the Discord.
Yeah, as soon as this is over, actually.
Feel free to drop those in, and probably sometime next week I'll record that video.
Be cool, and we'll put Amanda to work editing that one. Yeah, so that'll be very, very, very cool. Because you did work, and it should be for something. Yep. it's storyteller curse. You will put a lot of time and effort into something and then just watch as it gets flushed down the drain. Or realize that you did a whole bunch of prep and then know that the Cabal wants to dig into a letter. Just a nice little letter that was like, hey, you should meet this guy. And whoops,
Shit.
okay.
I mean, that was a really fun
15
divergence,
episodes
though.
later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, it was one of those things, and once you guys bit on it, it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
And like a couple of those things happened here too.
Sure. I know D&D memes on Reddit is all about my NPC, my players have gravitated to this one weird goblin NPC. I guess this
Goblin
guy's
the Goblin.
Yeah, this is going to be a thing. And that's the nature of DMing. Like your players are going to latch onto something and you're going to go, okay, well, this is just going to be set to the side. Like, for instance, we were talking about, how does Atratus kill the guy? I mean, that was literally supposed to be that was actually the information. Yeah, full spoilers here. Mr. Graves was not originally a seer. He had some information. One of the things was, this is the group who killed Gabe. And that was going to be a very, very early arc of Atratus getting to get some revenge, Gabe getting to get some revenge. And
He shouldn't have been so goddamn immediately sinister.
right. Well, and especially because and it's actually funny because Perry is the one who messaged me. It's like, man, you're really good at getting people super paranoid about stuff. And because apparently I did that in D&D too. Not apparently, I did. But once I realized it, I'm like, yeah, I did. Once players go paranoid on you, just lean into it because then,
Yep.
yeah.
You're not going to get them off that track.
No, not unless it's going to be super unsatisfying where you go, oh, okay, yeah, that's it. Oh, okay. And now
Just like, no, but literally, this isn't a problem. It's like,
right. Yeah, and then because
trust me, you idiots.
Yeah. No, really, everything's fine. Wink, 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 wink. No.
no.
So with that, since I'm not seeing anything further in chat and we are rounding the bend at 9:00 end time, thank you guys for joining us. Greatly appreciate it. It has been a blast to do this stuff with you guys and be on the player side. We will be back next week. So long as, no act of God, internet doesn't go out, et cetera, et cetera.
Don't even put that into the world.
Yeah, I know. I had a couple
Weird,
issues.
save us.
I had a couple issues last week or earlier this week with internet. So yeah. But yes, episode 100 will start up. We'll have some little narrative stuff about what happened in the past 6 months, similar to how you guys actually saw this mini-series start up with, like, what are you guys doing? There will be a little more.
Drew saw those in media res scenes and went, that's good.
Well, I mean, I had planned on talking it out, and
Yeah.
that's what we're going to do, because we're not going to see anything in media res immediately, but yeah, there will be, Songbird is definitely going to be in media res, because Chris had a good idea, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
So we will see some of that stuff, yeah, so that'll be good. As always, come join us on Discord. That's eatinto.space. Come join us, come hang out. We love to have you. It is blast, some of the community that we've built. Well, not some of the community, all of the community we've built. Even, and I've said it in the Discord, but I'm going to call it out here. There are some folks that I argue with about rules and theory crafting, and I love them, and they love me, I hope. We at least get along, okay? And that's what you're going to get in that particular channel, and it doesn't go any other channel, fortunately. So if you're not into arguments about rules and stuff like that, maybe avoid the one how does it work channel for general discussion. But if you have questions, bring them, because we will talk and we will give you what the book says and how we run it. And there are differing opinions, and you can pick what you want to do. It's there for you. Otherwise, hang out.
You can reject our reality and substitute your own. It's fine.
Thank you, Adam Savage. And of course, come let us know what you are doing, because let's be honest, we're all in the same pandemic. And
Here you got purged by putting a period in the wrong place again.
yeah, well, I mean, it's dot JPEG. He put it there. He just should have put the space. Whatever. But yes, we have the what happened in your game, because we do want to see and hear about your stories. We hear about the werewolf. We've got a vampire game. We've got another mage game. We've got a 1E mage game. Hi, Cat. So like, it's a great place to hang out. There's some of you who are watching all of these episodes and then joining when you're caught up. if you're watching this right now on YouTube, come join us. Come hang out. It is okay. We've got somebody who joined earlier today who's on episode 2. Good job. You'll get here eventually. And then we've got, other people who have like binged everything and then they joined. No, come hang out. I've talked enough about Discord. If you want to support us monetarily, that's patreon.com/occultist or staylucky.club. If you are interested in some fun stuff like Songbirds, or Chris's breakdown of this campaign, that's kind of the content that we're looking at building and adding on to what we are currently doing. So that might be a thing that shows up on Patreon, or we do because we have the support from Patreon. So there's that. And then Tuesday night is going to be Technocracy Reloaded. That's a little short thing. We are playing the bad guys, which also good job getting me to defend the technocracy in chat in Discord earlier. That
Drew was out here straight licking boots.
Oh man, it was weird. Okay.
Wrong context.
So yes, thank you guys. We will see you next week for the return of the Rookery. Bye.
Bye.
And also we'll be back to, Craig giving us a proper outro. God.